mean, yeah, and you see it in a lot of bands, and it's just like, what the fuck is this part of the song?
Yeah, why is
Like,
that there?
Why? What? It's like, if you really feel cool about that, I'm like, sweet, but the rest of your song is an absolute banger. You should erase that middle part, and then you'd probably get some serious airplay if that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
But if you really want to keep it in, I'm like, hey, cool, but fucking my eyes, it's destroying the song.
It's also difficult about going back to the songwriting thing and going now to, let's say, you're in a studio or signed to a label, there's an expectation. So because at the moment, it's the 20th anniversary of Linkin Park's Meteor album. Mm-hmm. It's got a bunch of unreleased songs and, Chester Bennington, fucking goat. But when they recorded Hybrid Theory, the whole time the studio was like, yo, we should, you got to stop rapping to Mike Shinoda.
Yeah, they tried to get rid of him or
Tried to get rid of the rapping, tried to get rid of, I think, some of the electronic stuff. Like, you guys should just be like a rock band, and Chester's the star. And they actually said that. They were like, they pulled Chester Bennington aside and was like,
yep,
this is all about you.
Yep.
And then he was like, what the fuck? This isn't all about me. But then it's like, coming, I guess, not a counter argument, but another view is like, well, if you really believe in what you're doing and like holding on to the music that you're doing, obviously this is more changing the entire band. I mean, you think about like, especially the first two albums from Linkin Park, it is like hip hop and metal, like
it's new metal.
It's married.
It's new metal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's like married in a way. It's like you can't get rid of the rap.
No,
you can't. It's not going to be the same at all. It's completely different.
As for songwriting, if they'd got rid of Mike Shinoda, the band would have gone to shit because
that guy's a genius.
That guy is the songwriter of Linkin Park.
Those guys deserve all the kudos and the credit that they got.
Yeah. Like someone
they deserve it all.
Mike's the keys, backing guitars, vocals. He's even writing the singing pieces for Chester.
He harmonizes too.
I know, and that's the part. It's like, man, I thought that when they said, "Oh, get rid of," it's like you're gonna get rid of like the head songwriter. Like this isn't gonna go well. Or they talked about it or whatever, but
this is before they released the album, which ended up being probably one of the best-selling.
So that's Meteora.
No, Hybrid Theory.
Hybrid,
right in the beginning. So you also got a band that's been demoing and playing shows and doing all this for a while in their first album, and then at the time you get these record labels who are apparently the people who know what they're talking about, right?
Yeah, because they don't write songs though.
Exactly, but if you're a young band in your, I don't know, early 20s or something, coming in. And then a big record label of these producers are like, you should change that. You should remove that. That's not good, And a lot of people will listen.
Yeah.
And that makes me think, is like, what happened about all those bands that didn't make it, who had something similar, So I think about that as well. So
in some ways, you're saying like when you're writing your songs, you're sticking to your guns.
Yeah, stick to your guns, and I guess like be open to all feedback. But at the end of the day, you make the decision.
Yeah. And
at the end of it, you make the decision. And obviously, back then, I think, because Hybrid Theory came out in 2000, it's also weird that you want to get rid of the rap part because nu metal was so fucking huge. So that's also odd. But I think they're looking at it from like a marketing point of view. It's about the business, right? And this is obviously the biggest struggle, is that musicians are terrible businessmen.
Yeah, weird. like I said to me, the marketing, I was like, later, Bowl.
Like, I mean, that's what I do, and I really enjoy it. And it's like marrying the two, because you have to if you want to like make your music a career, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to figure out how this business marketing part works. Otherwise, you're gonna get fucked, because that happens. You look at all these massive bands, like even Metallica. I think it was a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, they only got the rights to their music back.
Yeah, they did. They just got the rights back. Yep.
I think a few years ago. Yep. But they didn't have it for years.
Nah. That's so weird.
So you think about a band who grinds, like we're talking about, put in all the work, put in all the songwriting, make these songs together, and it's not theirs.
Yeah, and they've done all the shows, done all the touring, but it's kind of weird.